Hey guys, it's Andrew from the blog Pine and Prospect Home, and today I have you here in my sunroom to show you guys some small space organization ideas. So we use this space primarily for for quite a few different things actually, but today I'm kind of focusing in a little bit on homeschool supplies. But before you click out of this video, if you're not homeschooling, I would encourage you to still watch, because we all have areas in our homes that need organization, and sometimes it's tough to organize but still make it beautiful, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And I feel like I have some fun ideas that I want to share with you guys today that my husband and I have recently tackled to make some of your everyday items just more accessible, number one, and then beautiful. So it's always so cool when you can make those everyday items just like a beautiful display within your home. Just a little bit of background before I get started. If you are brand new to my channel, this small room is our sunroom area, and it kind of was just a wasted space for a long time after we moved into this home because we really didn't know what to do with it. It's all windows, so 3 out of the 4 walls are windows, and so you can't put a lot of furniture up against the walls. And it was very, very cold in the winter time. It still is, I'll admit, but my husband did add insulation to the walls, and just a couple years ago we added these built-ins and this bench unit, which provided so much more storage for our family. Well, we weren't planning on this, but we decided in the year 2020 actually to homeschool our kids, and so this space has sort of morphed into a homeschool room. Of course, this is not where we homeschool. We primarily homeschool at the dining room table, but the office space that you see behind me, I have a whole blog post on that and how we turned this $50 desk and file cabinet into this built-in situation that you see behind me. I was using that primarily for blogging, and I still do, but now, like I said, this space has sort of morphed into where we store a lot of our homeschool supplies. All right, so when you're looking into this sunroom space from the living room, you're gonna see our piano that we have. We got it for free. I painted the entire piano. I have a video on that actually, and this set of shelves right behind it. And the top 3 shelves I actually am using mainly for decor, because you see that all the time as you're passing by the sunroom, as you're looking in, and it's just a beautiful display for the eyes, and I just love to sort of play with those shelves. And recently I sort of switched them up. I have some books stacked and some vintage artwork, but I did want to point out the Crocs. So this is my first tip for you. If you're looking for ways to organize certain items, you can use old antique Crocs. They are so beautiful and so much prettier than like your conventional plastic Tupperware bin. So some things you can store in old Crocs. I am currently storing some twine in a small Crock that I have, but you could also store things like pencils, paintbrushes, and some of the skinny ones. And then some taller items in larger Crocs. You can even use small stoneware bowls. Like I found these little mini stoneware bowls with you guys while I was antiquing, and they are perfect for things like paper clips or little clothespins, like the little mini clothespins, things like that. And so I have some right behind me that I used for those as well. The second item that I want to share with you was sort of a DIY project, but I was looking for a way to hide a lot of, we just have so many different homeschool materials, the curriculum that we ordered, and nature notebooks and penmanship notebooks and things like that, and I wanted to have them easily accessible and on display for my kids to grab, but I didn't want all of that sort of out on the shelf. I wanted it organized, and I wanted it to be a little bit more beautiful. So I ordered these fun magazine file holders from Amazon. They're just made of cardboard. And then my husband and I wrapped them in some contact paper that I also ordered online. I'll put links for all of these things in the description below. We just went with like linen style contact paper. We wrapped the magazine file holders, and then we glued on these cute little labels that were so cheap, And now I have 3 of these file holders sitting on the shelf, and they are perfect for all of our main homeschool curriculum like books that we're going to be using this year. So I just loved the way this project turned out. Not all DIYs that I tackle turn out great, okay? I'm just gonna be honest. There are a lot that I don't share with you guys because they were such a fail. But this one turned out to be so beautiful in my opinion, and I just love the way that they are displayed here. And now we can quickly grab them in the morning. My kids can come in and just grab their magazine file holder with all of their books in it, yet they're still really accessible and they don't have to like go into a cabinet or dig through a drawer to find their things. So that's the second idea I have for you. All right, so my third idea for beautiful small space storage ideas is using baskets. I love the way baskets look. You don't have to hide them away or store them, you know, inside of a cabinet because they're so beautiful on their own. And I have quite a few that I'm using in this space. I decided to use a couple of baskets from IKEA that I purchased a couple years ago on this second shelf, and they are perfect for markers and crayons. And my boys can come in here and grab them and put them on the table when they color and then slide them right back on the shelf. And I love the way they look. I also have a couple of baskets that I'm using on the other side over here on these shelves, and I've got different things inside of them, some notebooks that I like to have on hand. Sometimes my boys go outside and they want to paint or draw different things that they find in nature. So I've got one that's filled with some kind of smaller size notebooks, and then I have another basket next to it as well. And again, they are beautiful just out on display. You don't have to hide them away. But probably my favorite basket that I'm using in this space was thrifted. And that's one thing that I should have pointed out right at the beginning. All of these items are so budget friendly, which I love. You can get old Crocs out thrifting or garage sailing. Baskets, most of mine were thrifted or purchased for very little. But this big ol', I'm thinking it's a picnic basket. I want to say it's a picnic basket, maybe not, but it looks like one. This was actually a basket that my mom found while she was thrifting, and I think she paid $5 for it. And I love this basket because it's the perfect size for paper. So I like to keep on hand a lot of different construction papers and scrapbook type paper for my boys to draw and create and color. And so I keep it all right there. They can come over here and grab it easily. And yeah, I just think that it's really beautiful. And you may have noticed next to the printer there, I have another like magazine file holder that's made out of a woven basket style material, and that was thrifted. But I love the way it looks there, and I'm just keeping some extra textbooks and notebooks in there as well. So that's another idea that I have for you. My fourth tip for you today is to use fabric storage bins. You can grab these almost anywhere. Most of mine I think are from Walmart, but I have a couple that I wanted to share with you today. First off, I grabbed a fairly large one with handles that I really love. It's like a black sort of woven material, and I grabbed it at Walmart, and I'm using it for all of my blogging like camera equipment supplies, and it's perfect tucked down on the bottom shelf over here. But then I grabbed a few more really affordable ones. I've got 2 white ones over here with a little brass detail, which I think is really pretty. It ties into some of the other brass elements in my room. And I have one that I'm using for all of our flashcards that I use for my boys. And then the other one is filled with just like random educational, type. I've got like the little microscope in there and the human body parts in there and some math manipulatives and things like that. And so they're just perfect right there on the bottom shelf. I can easily grab them, but as you walk into the sunroom, it's just really neat and beautiful and clean, which I really like. I also have a few more fabric bins that are a little bit smaller, and they come with a lid. I grabbed these at IKEA, but quite a while ago, so I don't know if they still have them. I'm sure they have something similar. And I love the fact that they came with little labels on them. So I have colored pencils in one of them, and then I have glue and scissors and the other one, and they look beautiful there stacked up. But yeah, I really like using these fabric storage bins in lots of different applications. A fifth small space storage idea that I want to share with you guys is using glass canisters, especially if the item you're storing is beautiful and you sort of want it on display. So one of the items that I really thought would be fun to sort of put on display is some of my favorite ribbons that I have. And so on the top shelf over here, you'll notice that I have some beautiful like velvet and canvas ribbon here stored in the glass container. And if you'll notice that art print behind it, I know this is sort of a side note, I thrifted that with you guys, and I gave the frame a little makeover, and I even sort of aged the print a little bit. But I want to hang it up so it's a little bit higher. I just have to add a nail there. Anyways, I just love that little print with the boys fishing. Glass storage containers, I think that they can really be used in a lot of different ways. So I also have one sort of tucked around the corner here. It's filled with pencils. So I used one there, and then of course I love using them, especially like old glass ball jars for paintbrushes. So those come in handy as well. Okay, so the last idea that I want to share with you guys today when it comes to small space organization is to think outside the box when it comes to furniture. So as you know, like I said earlier in this video, there are windows all around this room. And we had this space right behind the windows that you see behind me that was sort of just wasted. I had some baskets there before, and I was thinking, how can I utilize this space? I needed something low that would kind of, I'd be able to tuck under the windows. And one of the areas that we were really struggling with was organization for our books. I'm a sucker when it comes to children's books, and I just love buying them when I go to thrift stores. They're so cheap. You can get them for 50 cents, $1, 25 cents. And so often when I'm thrifting, I'll check the book section and come home with a lot. And if they're a dud, I'll just donate them back. But we have collected quite a few books, and I feel like I've struggled to find a system and a place for them. And so I was scrolling through Facebook Marketplace looking for like a lower bookshelf, which just, it wasn't happening. Usually shelves go high, vertical, and that wasn't gonna work in this space. And so my tip for you is to think outside the box when it comes to furniture. It just dawned on me, what if I started searching for entertainment centers? Because a lot of times you'll see entertainment centers that are lower because the TV sits on top of it. And lo and behold, I found an entertainment center. It was brand new. My neighbor was actually selling it. It was jet black when I found it, but it was way too long. So my husband took it apart and shortened it. It went from 70 inches to 60 inches. So we decided to paint it the same color as the desk built-in that you see behind me. It's Stone Hearth by Benjamin Moore. And then we added some wheels to the bottom. And the fun part about this is that I actually added a little tension rod with a curtain as well, so that the books would sort of be hidden because they get kind of crazy during the school year. And every once in a while I have to go through and organize them and put them back all in order. But I felt like this was a fun idea, and I felt like it was a perfect solution for our books since most of the homeschool material is in here anyways. So when I come in here to get the books for the day for the boys, I can also grab some of the children's books that I'd like to read to them because we read every single morning. So I thought that that was a fun idea, and I actually just used a piece of fabric that I already had on hand that was the perfect size for a curtain. But I'm still on the hunt for maybe like a fun like block print or something like that. This was just an old ticking stripe fabric that I had. Now, not all of our books fit on this shelf, and we have a solution for that. I would like to have some shelves in our boys' bedroom for books they are currently reading through. So we're gonna have some books still in their room, but I really just wanted the majority of our library to be in one space instead of all over the place, so that when we are looking for a particular book, we're not like searching through every single room. But another idea for you, if you have a large book collection, I decided to go through all the books and organize them, and I took out seasonal books and put them away. So any book that had to do with Christmas or the snow or winter, I put in a separate bin and I tucked it inside of this bench right here. And that way, when that season comes around, I can pull that bin out and I'll work through those books in that season. A few other things that we stored away that aren't as easily accessible because we're not using these items all the time are all of my boys' painting supplies. So I have a little bin filled with their shirts. I have old t-shirts that they wear when we paint. And we do paint often, but not every single day, like some of these items. And so that bin is tucked away. I also have my sewing machine in this built-in bench because I don't sew every single day. And then I just have some other educational things. So just kind of making the everyday items more accessible and beautiful. And then of course, items that you just use every once in a while, tucking those away. I also forgot to mention, if you're really looking for more storage for your small space, look up. Oftentimes, if you can't, expand the space, you can always go upwards. And so that's what I did by adding these shelves in here. And also right behind me, we added a shelf up there and that has different bins. So look up. That's another tip that I could have added, I guess. Number 7 is to look upwards and see, could I add a shelf up here maybe? So I hope some of those ideas helped you. I hope they inspired you today. If you have a really small space, you don't need to be overwhelmed by all the different things that need to be stored away. And aren't we so blessed? We are so blessed, let's not forget, to have this problem of, getting creative with all of this stuff that we have. And oftentimes I think more and more I just want to go minimal and get rid of all the things. But with little children and their creative minds, I want to be able to provide a lot of different things for them and resources and items that they can use to create. And so I love these small space storage ideas, and even though I'm specifically talking about homeschool today, I hope it gave you some ideas for your own space as you are looking for ways to organize the everyday items. So thank you guys so much for joining me. Let me know if this video helped you, and especially if you have an idea that I didn't mention, please leave it in the comments below. I love learning from you guys and getting ideas from you. So thanks so much guys for watching, and I will talk to you next time. Bye-bye.